Welcome to the Spurs 9501 podcast. From Kane to the Lane, the final say on all things Tottenham.
Make a start then. Everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. This is Ray in London. I've got a very, very special guest with us today, Shebby Singh, based in Malaysia. Hello, Shebby. How are you?
Hi, Ray. I'm good. I'm great.
Great. It's great to have you on the show, Shebby. So basically, for all our fans and our subscribers, Shebby has had a long involvement with football, and he's a big Spurs supporter. So we thought we'd do a video with Shebby just so you guys can understand how Shebby became to support Spurs, why he likes Spurs, and just get his thoughts on things that are happening at the moment. So, Shebby, just for some of our fans, I mean, lots of our fans will know who you are and be familiar with you, but there may be a very small minority who are not familiar with you. Would you be able to do a quick introduction about yourself?
Yes, I'm Shebby Singh. I am a former Malaysian international. I played for 9 years for my country. I had a amateur, semi-professional, professional career spanning 18 years. And I've been doing punditry for Astro Supersport, for ESPN, for Fox Sport for the last 24 years. So I've been a TV face for 24 years now. I don't sit on the fence. I am not a cheerleader. I call a spade, you know. That's about me. And that is what you're going to get on this show.
That's perfect. That's exactly what we want, Shebby. And I'm sure you're going to be a great draw for all our fans. They can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. So, Shebby, give us a bit of an insight on how you become a Spurs supporter. Give us a bit of background about that.
Well, I got to take you back to a long time ago, 1973, actually.
Right.
And I watched this cup final on television. I was 13 years old. Mm-hmm. And it was a team in white that beat a team in yellow. Till today, I am thankful to God that Norwich City didn't win that day. Otherwise, life would have been even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you know, I'm 13, you know, I've been playing football since I was 6, 7 years old. I'm crazy about football. And then I watch a cup final. And mind you, back in those days, you know, it was not a live game, you know. I think it possibly was 2 or 3 months old, the game that we got on the Malaysian television. You know, you stick with the winning team. My first cup final, and this team in white, they played some very good football. You know, I enjoyed watching them, and they won. So I've stuck with Spurs since then. You know, it's not been easy, but like I said, I mean, I wouldn't swap supporting Spurs for anyone apart from JDT, because JDT are my local club. I was born and brought up in Johor in Malaysia.
Yep.
And naturally, you know, they are my team, you know, but I am a Spurs supporter.
That's excellent. I mean, a lot of the people in Malaysia and the Far East we find are Man United, Liverpool fans, etc. So are you in the minority then in Malaysia supporting Tottenham?
Oh, yeah, very much a minority because these clubs obviously have got bigger followings, you know, bigger name to speak of. But I guess as a kid, you know, it's that first cup final that you watch, you know, the first impression that you get of a certain club. And I would say that Man United fans, especially in Malaysia, they, you know, people were converted to Man United from the time Sir Alex Ferguson took over and they started winning. Before that, it was all Liverpool, you know, and I suppose that's how it is, you know, as time goes by. But once again, you know, once you have got strong roots, I mean, I know older people who support Liverpool, the young people who support Man United, you know, I suppose that's the way it is, you know, but it was for me, you know, that 1973 League Cup final, we beat Norwich City 1-0, and I am, you know, I'm happy with my lot.
No, that's a great story, actually. And you know better than anybody, once you support a team, you stick with them thick and thin. You don't keep changing and all that. So it's just, you know, the way it's gone for Tottenham. We haven't been that successful, but, you know, you're still our team, isn't it?
It is, you know, I mean, yeah, you know, when you talk about success, you know, you talk about the English Premier League, you know, the noise, you know, we don't make enough noise, so to speak, you know. But I think, we've got to go back from 73 onwards. I remember it was one cold night in, I think it was December 1983, or was it November? And, we were at home to Bayern Munich in the return leg of the UEFA Cup semi-final. And I was on the way back from Brazil because I had been signed by a new team in Malaysia. We'd gone to Brazil for a training stint.
Sure.
We transit in London, and I mean, White Hart Lane was rocking, and I got to see Glenn Hoddle play. Mark Falco scored a goal. I mean, it was crazy. So I would say that if you haven't experienced moments like this, you're always going to whinge, you're always going to moan. So for me, I think it's the generations. The current generation whinge a lot. The older generation like me, support the club for what it is. Yes, things can be better. Things should be better. There are a lot of decisions that are made. Sometimes you wonder if they are footballing decisions or other reasons for those decisions. But for me, it's just that. I think the older generation, we've seen that. I mean, you got to go back to that. Ricky Villa FA Cup final. I call it the Ricky Villa FA Cup final. Simply because what we did to Manchester City after a draw. Ricky Villa scores one of the greatest goals ever. But today's generation, I mean, the last 10, 15 years, or let's say 20 odd years of the English Premier League, if you support Spurs, you do not have those memories. No. You don't have that, engraved on your heart, and that is why it is difficult for people to understand.
No, that's an extremely good point, Shebby. I mean, we through thick and thin, we've got some memories, but we've got Champions League memory now as well. So that's still not winning anything, but it's still a memory, isn't it, Shebby? So Shebby, tell me about what's current. Let's talk about the Spurs manager search. So what happened? Obviously, Mourinho was fired in April, and they only just now, 2 months later, have appointed Nuno Espirito. Firstly, tell me what you think about Nuno's appointment.
Well, when I was asked about who should be the next Spurs manager, and and I was thinking, let's not recruit from within, because there's always going to be added pressure on somebody that you take from within. It's better to take somebody from the outside, somebody who has been in England, maybe not, doesn't matter, like a Gennaro Gattuso for that matter, Massimo Allegri for that matter, people who have been successful, they could come into England, come to Spurs and make a difference. But I mean, now that Nuno Espirito Santo is our manager, I look back at what he did with Wolves. What he did with Wolves, is just amazing. Where Wolves were, who Wolves were, what they were. I mean, it's such a long time ago, for Wolves of Derek Dugan and John Richards. But the Wolves that he brought up from the Championship, the Wolves that played in the Premier League, so the brand of football is, for me, what is important, Ray, is I want a coach. I want somebody who comes in and makes a player better. I don't want a manager who comes in and kills Dele Alli. This is the difference. So we are looking at a coach. Thank God for that. Nuno is a good coach. Improve the individual, the team will improve. So I would say that while I was not really happy, about the recruitment from within, but now that it's Nuno, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Who was your first choice to be the replacement for Mourinho, Shebby?
Well, I certainly was looking at somebody like Gattuso, because I've seen him at Milan, I've seen him at Napoli, very enterprising football. He's always forward thinking, and he's a very demanding coach. And the players who are with him have always improved, which makes it even more interesting, because he bought Chucky Lozano or Irving Lozano, and suddenly turned him into a top class player. I was looking at a coach who the players will respect,
Sure.
But like I said, Allegri would have come in with that authority, with that class, But anyway, like I said, I'm happy with Nuno because of the brand of football.
Some people have sent, and Shebby, I'll just play this back to you. Some people are saying he's a Mourinho disciple, Mourinho 2.0, plays a defensive style of football. What do you say to people like that?
Defensive style of football? I mean, really? Have they watched Wolves or not? And this is the problem. When you look at Wolves, and Diogo Jota, for example, Raul Jimenez, a nobody from Mexico until he came to the Premier League, he scored goals. I hope he recovers 100% from his injury. So we are not looking at Mourinho 2.0. No, it's Nuno. Nuno 1.0. He is his own man. Getting the best of Adama Traore, who quite possibly has got one of the worst first touch in football, but utilizing him, getting the best out of him. There's so many positives to take from Nuno's brand of football. Don't look at Wolves and think it's Wolves, Go back to what the brand of football they have been playing. I mean, if they developed a player good enough, to be bought by Liverpool, he did something good. He brought an individual, improved him. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a coach rather than, a Mourinho.
That's an excellent point, actually. He brought Diogo Jota in and brought him to such a level that he was bought by Liverpool for quite a hefty fee. So that's a really good point, Shebby. Shows the ability that he has. So what does Nuno need from the club, infrastructure, or the board? What does he need to succeed at Tottenham? What does he need to do? What do you think? He's got his own style. Does he need to be supported in the transfer market?
Well, I think he will be cautious. I think, he will look at the squad, and he will think, this is the team that not too long ago played in the Champions League final, right? There was a very good structure to the team, a solid foundation to the team. He just needs to get the individuals back. He may have to think about, getting rid of one or two players who, in my opinion, are just not up to the mark.
Who are those players? Ndombele. Tell us.
Tanguy Ndombele. I never understood.
I
never understood the reason why we signed him. And no disrespect, Højbjerg. Why? Well, I mean, we have Eric Dyer who plays central midfield. Harry Winks was coming along. He was progressing, mind you. And this is what you need. You need to trust the players. And I think, Nuno will do that. Obviously, Son, Giovanni Lo Celso, there's a lot of class, in that team. But it's just that, Mourinho destroyed the confidence of the players, so much so that everybody withdrew. But I think, we've got a very, very good squad.
Okay. Which areas of the squad do you think need improving, Shebby?
Well, it'll be interesting to see, whether he plays a flat back four or, he wants to play the 3-4-3 because at Wolves, he played with the back four. He pretty much played a 4-4-2, which was strong, which was solid. So at this moment in time, let's not go silly. Let's give Nuno, at least until January, and then, think about where we need to go. Okay. So not straight away come in, I want, A, B, C, I want these three players, or I'm not, signing or whatever. No, there's a good squad there. Just coach them, and then if they are playing to their maximum, come January, then you decide who you need, 2 players or 3 players for that matter.
So what I'm hearing from you, Shebby, is there's enough talent and in that squad to do well. You just need to be coached properly. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying, and I stand by that. Because these players didn't become bad players overnight. They were, they were managed, into becoming bad players. Their minds were elsewhere. So no, you got to bring back that spirit that Pochettino had in the squad, and for me, Nuno's got to be smart. Do not allow our best players to leave, and that is going to be important. Is hanging on to the players that we have.
Well, okay, I was going to come on to that, Shebby. My next question: what do you think is actually going to happen with Harry Kane? Doing really well at the Euros, he's getting into scoring boots. What do you think is going to happen with Harry?
Well, I mean, if he is, Nuno has to convince him to stay. Nuno has got to say, this is what we're going to do. This is the project or the plan, He's got to convince him to stay, because otherwise it will be very, very difficult. For Harry Kane, I know he will not stay. I know that he wants to leave. Having said that, I hope that England win the Euros, so Harry Kane would have won something, and he'll be happy to give the new manager a chance. But having said that, I think, there are not too many clubs, because you look at Harry Kane, and then you look at what is available on the market. Erling Brot Haaland, So if you are, Manchester City, if you are Real Madrid, if you are Barcelona, who are you looking at? If you are PSG, who are you looking at? Will you say, oh, Harry Kane, or we go with the much younger, more dynamic, one for the future, Erling Haaland, because they possibly will cost about the same amount, but Erling Haaland will be a longer term investment. So this is where I hope, that we don't get too many bids.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually, because if we do win the Euros, hopefully Harry Kane will actually won something. He'll want to stay. So let's hope so.
Yeah, because like I said, I hope there are not too many offers,
Sure.
Because right now there is competition, there is a young, dynamic, world-class striker, who is only so young, in Erling Haaland. Go for him. Man City, Real Madrid, go away.
No, that's excellent, Shebby. So just going back to Tottenham, what realistically do you think we can hope for the season that's coming up now? What do you think should be a realistic target?
Champions League football.
Really? Do you think we can get top 4?
We have got to be in the top 4. We must be in the top 4. We've got to move, whatever resources we have to be in the top 4, because anything less than that, will be tough, which will mean that, Mourinho has taken the club one step back, maybe two. Let's try to get back to where we were, and consistently we were in the Champions League with Pochettino, and now that is the minimum target. And I think we can, if Nuno coaches the team as well as he did with Wolves, mind you, getting the best out of players, of that caliber. And then suddenly you have got, players who are possibly, 2 levels above what he had at Wolves. He's got everything happening for him.
So if Nuno was to go back to Wolves and say, look, I want some players, which players do you think he should try and take from Wolves to Tottenham?
Well, it's a pity, really, because the best, already left the season before, right? Diogo Jota. I don't think so. I don't think so. Unfortunately, we could have done with Raul Jimenez, with a striker. Because I don't think that Carlos Vinicius is going to be that good number 2 or even a number 1, because Harry Kane can play off number 9 as well. So there are not too many options, but. No, please don't raid your former club. No, don't do that, because I think we have got better material.
So you don't think something like Connor Cody playing in the back 3 would be helpful for Tottenham?
No, I don't think so. You have got Vertonghen left. He was well replaced. We've got Toby Alderweireld. You need to get somebody younger than him. Huh?
He wants to leave as well. Toby's saying he wants to leave.
Yeah, let him leave. Because there's a lack of pace there.
Exactly.
I think Sanchez is fine. Eric Dyer, he's a natural sweeper or a libero or a free man at the back. I think if at all, we are looking at getting like a good centre back. It's a pity, because there are some good centre backs. Dyer Upamecano, has gone to Bayern Munich. Ibrahima Konate, he's left as well. He's gone to Liverpool, I think. So there were some good French centre backs, so to speak. I think Nico Alvedi with Borussia Mönchengladbach. I think he could do a good job. He's 24 now. He's consistent. He used to make mistakes 2 or 3 seasons ago. So we need somebody who is strong, solid, reliable. And somebody who's below 25 or below.
What about Jules Koundé from Sevilla? There's talk about him potentially coming.
Well,
have you seen any of him? Seen much of him?
Well, he's a good defender, but from what I've heard, it's 50 million, 50.
Yeah, something.
I mean, that's a bit much, that's a bit much,
Okay.
and in times like this, no, you want somebody that you can get for 20 to 30 million, for example, and then you move on from there.
Excellent. Shebby, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Give us some words of encouragement for all the Tottenham fans watching now, looking forward to the next season. Give us some reasons for hope. Give us some good words, Shebby, for the season so we can look forward to it.
Well, I've been supporting Spurs since I was 13, and I am 61 in August.
Yeah.
We don't love Spurs for the trophy count. We love Spurs for the magic moments. We love Spurs for the magic players that Spurs have given us. And as a supporter, that is very, very important. You can always sit on your couch, and the memories that you have, you make new memories as well as you go along. So we must understand that we had Jimmy Greaves, we had Martin Chivers, we had Gary Lineker, we've got Harry Kane. So for me, that is how I look at Spurs. Those memories, that magical moments. I don't count the trophies.
Okay, Shebby, well, listen.
Because there's not much to count.
Is that you just accepting that we're not going to win anything, or is it the way you are really?
No, I mean, as a supporter, like I said, Glenn Hoddle, you remember Glenn Hoddle for his magic, Ossie Ardiles, Ricky Villa, Tony Galvin, what they brought, So this is how, life goes on when you are a supporter of a club. When you're a fan, you can be a fan one day, you can be a fanatic the other, So, you go up and down like a roller coaster. No, as a supporter, stay level, What if there is a trophy, it's a bonus.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But you support the club through thick and thin. And like I said, the moments of magic that are etched in your mind and in your heart.
Shebby, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Your insights have been amazing, really. And in the future, we'd love you to come back on again and talk about as the season starts. It would be great. Or would you like to do that?
Yes, Ray. Thank you very much. I would love to come back on your show.
That's great.
Look after yourself. Stay safe. And speak soon.
Thank you very much. Everybody, this is Ray from Spurs 9501 saying, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again to Shebby Singh from Malaysia for being on the show. And we'll see you on the next show. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Spurs 9501 podcast. Stay in touch, continue the debate, and let us know what you want to discuss by finding us on YouTube. Tune in after the next match day for more insight. Thanks for listening.